Welcome to the second installment of this series. Compared to last time, instead of a cube here, I have actually rendered chunks now. Um, so I think this is, for now, this will just be the menu screen. This is just the chunk at 0, 0, and the camera is just kind of centered. We have a rotation axis going through here. But definitely a big difference from the last devlog. Another big difference between last time is we now actually have chunk rendering in the context of a world. So if we load in, well, is something on the to-do list is to handle multi-threading, and right now this is kind of what multi-threading looks like. So it doesn't look super good. I still kind of trying to figure out why this is happening. All right, let's just, for now, for the sake of presentation, we can disable this multi-threading for now. All right, and you can see that it does actually okay for a single thread. That might just be because my PC is a pretty decent PC and has a pretty decent graphics processor. But you can see there is definitely a freeze whenever I'm loading new chunks in. Definitely because I am single threading this right now. The interesting thing about this, I've written this in a way that I can actually, if I wanted to, I could say 32 by 32 chunks with a 3 chunk radius. And now you see the menu screen is a bit cut off because it's now rendering a 32 by 32 chunk. And then we load the world. And we actually have 49 chunks in our cache. And it's rendering 32 by 32 chunks. You're not going to want to constantly be changing the chunk and region sizes because eventually I'm going to implement writing to file and reading from file, and we can't be changing those variables when we are reading and writing to and from file. I have noticed I think the best performance comes from when I have small chunks and a large render distance rather than a large chunk bound in a small. I think it's definitely better when I have smaller chunks, at least for FPS, because I have 18 render distance right now, and we only have 16 by 16 chunks. It's definitely going to take a little bit to load because we are still on a single thread. Wow, that is insane. Right now, for the chunk initialization process, I'm just having it randomly assign a block type to each block. So I'm not actually the block types aren't actually planned out at all. But when I do that, we're gonna have to introduce another noise value for that. Right now we do have a 2D noise value to determine the block's elevation in the chunk, and then some interpolation going on. Um, but yeah, to actually determine block type, we are gonna have to probably introduce some three-dimensional noise. But you can definitely see the FPS is a lot lower. Again, if this were multi-threaded, I don't think I would have many problems in rendering this many chunks. However, right now it's not doing great. Let's have some fun with this, let's have a little bit of fun. What if we do a four block, a 4 by 4 chunk and a 30 render distance? What is that going to get us? I'm very curious. I've never tried chunks this small. That's a 4 by 4 chunk, all right. And we have a 30 render distance. Okay. So, I mean, it looks like about how I would expect. And we have 3,800 chunks rendering. The the chunk coordinates are on divisible by fours. Um, wow, that's actually kind of smooth. Look at that. Look at that. It's kind of my view camera is a bit weird on moving, and that's something I'll also have to fix later on. But you can see how smooth it's rendering in with these smaller chunk sizes. That's very interesting. And then if we look to the other side, you can see it disappearing. That is that's really cool actually. But yeah, so I think the plan is for the next devlog is to um, it might be a short one next time because I plan on just kind of figuring out multi-threading. Definitely multi-threading is a priority right now because it will if it's running like this on a single thread, I think it would do really well on multiple threads. That's definitely going to be a priority. So it might be a shorter performance-based devlog next time. Um, Also, lighting is definitely something on the to-do list. That would require more vertex data being sent to the GPU. Hopefully that won't affect performance too much, but if we're going to be multi-threading the rendering process, I don't think it should have that big of an effect on how fast everything is. But yeah, multi-threading, that is the plan now. Um, and that's about it for this devlog.